here with my lovely mother.
Hi, I'm Janette.
And I saw this idea on another Disney podcast where they played like a pick one type of game. So in each park, you're going to pick one. You're going to pick a snack, a quick service, a table service restaurant, a spot to shop, a show to see, a character to meet, and a ride. So if it's kind of like the idea if you're going, so we're doing Epcot today. So we're going to go to Epcot and we can only pick one, and that is our entire day. You can't do anything else. You can't look at anything else. You're tunnel vision to that one item. So we're going to start with our snack. So what did you pick for your snack?
La Cantina, guacamole and chips.
See, that's what I picked too. I figured we were going to pick the same thing.
Yes. So. I love their guacamole and chips. I mean, do we have to say why we would pick that one?
I know, right? The guacamole and chips at Mexico is at the La Cantina de San Angel for $12. Okay. But for $12, you get a really good amount of fresh tortilla chips and fresh made guacamole.
Fresh guacamole.
Yeah.
And you get a beautiful view. I mean, we've talked about La Cantina before. And even if you don't want that, there's other things. I mean, when I go pick up the guacamole, people's food is coming past me. And I got to say, it's all really good.
Also, don't mind, you just heard my dad's phone go off. So we don't control my dad's phone.
I'll make your phone quiet. Okay, go ahead.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a good amount. And I would say too, because I go out for Mexican food a lot. And at some restaurants in Philadelphia, guacamole and chips can be upwards of $15 to $20.
Right, and you don't even get that much.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like you get a really good fresh amount of guacamole and chips. So I think it's a good snack.
Yeah.
And it's shareable as well. You could always get two if you really wanted, or ask for extra chips or something like that. So
we always get it as a snack, so we really never get our own. We just kind of share.
No, for sure. All right, what was your quick service?
My quick service was tough. I kept going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. It was between the Lotus Cafe and the Patissiere. How do you say that? Patissiere? The French.
The Les Halles.
Yes. Yes. Between the two of them. I mean, either one of them, if I couldn't go anyplace else and that was where I had to get my quick service, I'd be happy. So I kind of have a tie. I couldn't figure out which one I really wanted to go to.
Yeah, so I had picked the Les Halles Boulangerie Patisserie. So Disney says this is the quick service in the France Pavilion. Disney says sample delectable treats and tempting delicacies at this traditional French bakery, from soups and salads to fresh baguette sandwiches and pastries. Wine, champagne, beer, and gourmet coffees are also available. Bon appetit. And yeah, I love this quick service. I think it is my favorite quick service. A while ago, we ranked all the quick service restaurants in Epcot, and this was my number one quick service. And it's because you can get quite a range of items in this.
God, and they're all good.
Yeah, from like breakfast type foods to lunch type foods. I mean, like the sandwiches are all really great. They have quiches. Again, you can get dessert type items at like the bakery type items. And they also serve alcohol too. So if you're interested in getting like a fun alcoholic adult beverage, or even just like a fun non-alcoholic beverage, you can still get that here as well.
Right.
Again, I always say the biggest downside to this place is that there isn't really a lot of seating.
Not a lot of seating. They need more seating.
There's not a lot of indoor seating, unfortunately. Right. I feel like they could definitely squeeze more tables in if they really wished, and they just don't. So that is my biggest downside. But yeah, I love this place. It's my favorite.
Yeah, I think that when push come to shove, if I had to pick number one, number two, I think I would go to that first, and then Lotus Cafe would be the second one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I do love the Lotus Cafe as well, but I always say they don't have as many vegetarian options as the Festival.
No, they don't have as big a selection.
And also their seating is fully outdoors. It is covered,
Yeah,
so
some of it's
covered, but it is outdoors is the only thing. So sometimes,
if it's hot,
but they have more seating than the French.
Yeah, because they have seating on both sides. They have some tables outside.
Yeah, even they also have more benches around too.
Right across is the China Pavilion, which has benches, and it's just that if it's hot or cold, you can't get out of the elements.
That's a good point too. Yeah, because it can be cold sometimes.
Yes,
in Florida,
it can be. We've been there when it's been cold,
and you're all bundled up, and your fingers are freezing, and you can't eat your food.
Yes, so that's a little bit of a downfall there, but I do believe that would probably come in second as a quick service.
No, that's fair. All right, what is your table service restaurant?
Okay, which is why the Lotus Cafe can come in second as my quick service. Nine Dragons is my top.
Nine Dragons, okay.
I love Nine Dragons. I love it because of the atmosphere. I love it because of the food is good. Basic menu, not a very, very big menu, basic menu. But I just love going in there. I just love sitting down. I love enjoying my meal. I think everything's really good. That would be like if I had to go to any restaurant in Epcot, that's the one I would pick first.
No, I agree. I do love Nine Dragons a lot. I do think it's one of the best restaurants in Epcot. It's funny because it's not the most popular restaurant in Epcot. There's so many places to eat in Epcot that I definitely think it's underrated overall in spectrum to where
we don't go there as often.
We don't.
No, we don't. We have Lotus Cafe as a snack, and then we don't go to Nine Dragons technically as dinner.
Yeah, no, for sure. I do like Nine Dragons a lot. We actually have a whole podcast episode on Nine Dragons where we deep dived into the menu and the the history and everything around Nine Dragons. Definitely make sure you check out that podcast.
I've never had a bad meal there. I mean, it's always been very, very good. I mean, like I said, it's basic. It's not like anything really, really fancy or really, it's just really good food in a really nice atmosphere, and the service is excellent. I gotta say, I love it.
Sure. What did you think my table service is?
Les Cellier.
No, it's not Les Cellier.
Oh,
I'm surprised you thought Les Cellier.
the Italian.
What, Tutto Italia?
Italia.
No, it's not Tutto Italia.
Oh my God.
I decided to go with Via Napoli this time. Yeah. So I went with Via Napoli. So Disney says discover authentic Italian cooking.
See, that would have been my second choice.
Yeah, including hearty pastas,
Okay.
fresh salads, pizzas perfected in wood-burning ovens. Normally, I do pick Tutto Italia as my top restaurant in Epcot. However, I was thinking about it, and the truth is, as much as I love Tutto Italia, I was like, you know what? I'll do Via Napoli, because Via Napoli is quite
Via
similar
Napoli
to
does
Tutto
serve
Italia.
pasta. We should go there one time
They
so
do. They
you can
serve
get the
pasta.
pasta and see if it's good, the spaghetti.
And I would say overall, I do like the atmosphere of Via Napoli
Yes.
more than
Me too.
Tutto Italia. So Tutto Italia is very, very much that, I would say, that authentic kind of almost like a New York City restaurant, Italian restaurant type of feel. So you walk in there, they have all of the murals on the walls of like different places in Italy, a lot of like dark brown wood. You know, it's supposed to look like a fancy
Surprised
kind
you
of
didn't ask me to
Italian
go to Via
restaurant.
Napoli the next time.
Yeah, Via Napoli is, I forget the exact terminology, but they say it's much more open air, almost as if you're walking through like
I
a
love
train
going
terminal or something like that, and you're stopping for food, you know, on your way going out. I love the 3 burning ovens for the 3 volcanoes in Italy. I like the overall style. I think I just love places with high ceilings also.
Yeah, I just love the atmosphere in there, yeah. And
So
their
I do
food,
like
like I said, I
Napoli.
like pizza, so. And they do serve other things. It's not that they just serve pizza.
That's what I'm saying. They have a pretty good overall big menu, and Italian food is my favorite genre of food in general. I will say I do like Le Cellier as well, but yeah, Via Napoli I thought would be, I was like, you know what, I'll go with Via Napoli this time, because I feel like I normally do go to Tutto Italia, but I'm like, yeah, but I say that too, as if Via Napoli isn't the most popular restaurant in Epcot. Like, this is literally the most popular restaurant in
it probably
Epcot.
is now. Yes, I think it is now.
All right, well, where is your spot to shop?
Oh, the Creation Shop.
Okay.
I think out of all the shops, they have like some little shops that have like interesting stuff. But I got to say, the Creation Shop just has everything. You know, I can walk around there and I can get, see what the new designs are that are coming out, the new merchandise, the new things. They got little stuff, big stuff, everything. I just love to tool around.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So I thought about Creation Shop, but I decided to go with the Mitsukoshi department store, which is the store in the Japan Pavilion. So this is the only Mitsukoshi department store, I think, in the entirety of the U.S. So they only are in Japan, and then this one in the, in the Japan Pavilion, which is pretty cool because that means it kind of just leads into the authenticity of what that store is, that you could go to Japan. And I mean, like, I'm sure it's very tiny in comparison to the ones in Japan.
Yes.
But it makes sense though, because when you walk into that store, each room has like a little different feel in it, so it's almost as if you are walking through like a big department store and you go through the different sections.
Yes,
of that
that's right. Each
store.
section has its own feel of whether it's the toys and the Hello Kitties and the
like the
things
clothing and the houseware
right.
and the
Then
food and everything. So don't mind if you hear the cats meowing. They're playing.
they're playing together.
Yeah, they're having the day today, that's for sure. But I like this store because again, there is a lot to look at in this store. There's so many items. When you first walk in, usually it's all like the plushies. So it's a lot of the Japanese character plushies. If you're into like Pokemon or Animal Crossing or anything like that, you see all the plushies, which are super fun. Then they also have the fine jewelry, which is really cool too. Like the fine jewelry is next to like the comic books,
Yes.
it's kind of funny when you think about it, but like you're looking at these pieces of jewelry that are thousands of dollars, like real freshwater pearls from Japan and everything, right next to like a comic book, little stand.
Right.
Okay, so you can do the oyster pearl thing, which is super cool, honestly. So basically you pay money and then you crack open an oyster and then there will be a little pearl inside, and then you can pay more money and you can set that pearl into a piece of jewelry. So you can put it in a necklace or a ring or a bracelet or something like that. So it is really cool. I've actually never done it before. I know my brother has done it before and he did say it was a really fun little thing to do. So I would love to do it one day. And it's funny because people are like, is it real? And the answer is no, it's not real, of course. The way, just knowing how oysters actually create pearls, there is no way that oyster is actually creating that pearl. And also to way you do this sustainably in the actual wild, so to speak, this is not how they actually get pearls from oysters. Right. So you can guarantee you will get a little pearl. The pearl has been placed there earlier in the day for you to pick out, but you don't know what the size is going to be. You don't know what the color is going to be. So that's kind of what you're doing is for like the fun, you know, the funness of it. So I would like to do it one day. Maybe next time when I'm there with my fiance, I'll tell him, it's like, let's go do the little oyster pearl type thing, and we'll go get a little pearl and put it in a piece of jewelry or something, because I think it would be fun. But again, they do have the clothing, which is really fun too. I always love looking at Japanese like skincare items, and they do have some Japanese skincare items. They don't have a lot. That's more of a Korean thing. Like Korean skincare is much bigger, but they have some things which is fun to look at. And then of course all of the homeware. I love all of the bowls, especially like the tiny little little bowls because Japanese cuisine has
the
a lot of like the little bowls for the
ceramic
sauces.
ceramic sauces and the decorations.
Exactly. I love looking at all of their little
bowls. That is
bowls.
a very cool
I love
shop
bowls.
to go into.
I love the chopsticks. I love the chopstick stands. And of course you have the robes and then the kimonos that, women wear as well, which is really cool. And then all the Japanese food, which is really fun too to look at. So much fun stuff in that store. If I had to pick one place to stop, I think I would stop there over Creations, just because if I was in, like, it's kind of hard because they don't have a lot of Disney items in that store is the only thing.
No, that's all Japanese items. That's
the
just,
thing. So it's like if I was going for a trip type of thing and I was only going to do one thing in each park, it's like, well, I probably would have picked up Disney items maybe in a different park or a different store, whereas in Epcot, I can only get those items.
Oh, yeah, I had
at
tunnel
that
vision.
store.
It was just like, okay, Epcot. Let's just, you know.
For sure.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. So, all right, what is your show to see?
Eat the Beat concert series.
Okay, yeah.
That's my favorite series. It's my favorite show in Epcot. Whenever we go, if there's anybody singing, anybody going on, I'm hoping that it's on days that we're going to be there.
Yeah,
I don't
so
plan my vacation around it, but if they happen to have them and eat to the Beat, I'll let Amanda explain it. But Eat to the Beat is my favorite show.
Yeah, so Eat to the Beat is for food and wine, and then Garden Rocks is the Flower and Garden Festival one.
Right.
I don't remember what the Festival of the Arts one is called, and then the Candlelight Procession is his own thing. So they don't have music.
That's the right.
They usually have like a host is the only thing.
Right.
But yeah, so yeah, basically they just have different artists, come in. They play 3 times a night. Sometimes they'll play different songs though. So if you're
Yes,
going
they
to
do
see
3
your favorite
sets, and
artist,
sometimes each set has different songs.
some
in it.
artists will do the same songs all 3 sets, and other ones will change it each time. So it depending upon if you're a big fan of the artist, make sure maybe you want to go all 3 times just to see if they
We've
play
done
different
that.
songs.
We've hung around. You can hang around because we never really wait online.
Yeah, you don't really have to sit inside.
No.
Like if you want to sit, of course, definitely get online and sit inside.
We don't wait
You can
online.
just stand in the back too.
Yeah, we stand in the back, and then in between sets, we go and get a snack and come back, or go someplace and come back, because they do take a little bit of a break. But we've seen some really cool people there. I mean, some really good people
get some great
perform.
artists, for
Yes.
sure.
So, I mean, whether it's Eat to the Beat was the first one I thought of, but like you said, each season
It's kind
has
of the same. They just
it's
call
the
it
same
different
show,
names.
just different
Yeah.
people and different, the different theme around it. But that's what my favorite thing in Epcot is to do, because I really feel like getting in there and getting to see these people up close and listen to them is like going to a concert. And think of what a concert costs you and all the
That's what I'm
hassle
saying,
to get
especially if
there.
you're an
and-
annual pass holder and you live in Florida. That's included.
I would be going there every time
That's what I'm
somebody
saying.
good was playing.
That's included in the ticket of your, in your park ticket.
Yes.
So it's just basically an added-on concert,
Right.
that you're, that you can really.
I've
take
said that
advantage
before.
of.
I said if I lived close to the parks, I'd look at that schedule, see who I wanted to see, and just show up.
Yeah.
Because it's just, and like I said, you don't have to be right up in front of them. You can stand in the back. You can be like by the American Pavilion
sure.
and hang out, and then
Even
just.
the Candlelight Procession is really lovely too. When we went there,
Yeah, we
last
saw
time-
that from the back.
Yeah, we saw John Stamos the last time we were there, which was very crowded for John Stamos.
Yes, in the rain.
For
no
sure.
less.
Yeah, we stood in the pouring
We
rain.
stood in the
for
rain,
him.
no less, to see him all the way in the back. But I got to tell you, I think it's worth going to Epcot just to see that.
Yeah, no, definitely agree. That's a really good one. For my show to see, I did do the classic, just Luminous, The Symphony of Us. That is the current nighttime show.
the
in
nighttime
Epcot
show.
right now. But I really liked Luminous when we saw it. I thought it was a great show. I will say I've only seen it once, but
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it the one time I saw it. I thought it was a great show. I thought it was really well at pulling all the countries together and, saying again, how the world is one and world peace and everything. So I really enjoyed the show. I will say I was not the biggest fan of Harmonious. I know a lot
No.
of people did like Harmonious. I didn't really love Harmonious. It wasn't my favorite. So I definitely prefer Luminous.
I thought
over
Luminous was better,
Harmonious,
yes.
personally. So I really like Luminous. I would definitely wait around for it. It is hard because that show usually is at like 9:45 at night, and we're not really night owls. We get real tired.
By the time the nighttime comes, we're like, okay, I'm tired.
Yeah,
I
it's like
wanna
because
go
by the
back.
time you see the show, by the time it ends, by the time you get on the bus or the monorail or wherever to get where you're going, it's like you're getting
why-
to bed at like 10:30, 11. I can't do that.
Yeah,
But
I'm
I would say
tired.
at the Epcot nighttime show is the hardest because it's always later than the
Yes,
Magic Kingdom
that's much
ones.
later.
So yeah, it is difficult sometimes to stay up for that. But I do think Luminous is definitely worth it, which is why I picked Luminous. So kind of a boring choice, but
Right.
it
The problem
was
with
the
Epcot
choice.
too is by the time the show is getting near, you can't find any place to sit. So even if you want to wait around for the show, there is no place to sit, because one time we were there, remember, it was really cold. Whatever time we were there the last time, it was really, really cold, and I was really cold, and I guess I was getting sick at the time. I didn't know I was getting sick, but I really didn't feel great, and I wanted just to sit down, just to sit somewhere, just to sit down, not to see the fireworks from where I was sitting. I just wanted to sit down, just so that I could just wait for the fireworks. Well, that wasn't happening. It was just, that's what the problem is, I think. I get too tired, and then by the time we get to that time of night, I can't even sit and relax before it goes on. I don't mind standing up to go watch it, but when you're waiting around for another hour just to wait for it to go on, that becomes hard for me. So
Yeah.
that's why it's not my top show.
Who is your character to meet?
Oh, Winnie the Pooh
picked Winnie the
in
Pooh?
UK, yes.
Yeah.
If I had to meet any character, I love just looking at Winnie the Pooh. It just makes me smile. Actually, it's not just Winnie the Pooh in the UK. I think they have some of the other characters do come out too. And They make me smile.
Yeah, no, that's very nice, like Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
I picked Belle in her blue dress. And the reason why is because you don't really see Belle in her blue dress very often. You usually see her in her big yellow dress, the ball gown dress.
Yeah.
So it's pretty rare to see Belle in her blue dress, but you can almost be guaranteed to see Belle in her blue dress in the France Pavilion. So normally she comes out, she walks around with like her little book for a little bit, and she'll do little meet and greets, around that area. And I don't think she does it every day. I think it is spontaneous of when Belle in her blue dress comes out. But I do think it's really exciting to see her in like her everyday clothes, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because
usually she's in that big yellow gown.
Most of the princes show up and you see them in their gowns, which I do love the gowns as well. It's always fun to see them in their gowns, but it is fun to see them just in their everyday wear too, because it's just pretty rare to see. So I do like that they do have Belle in her blue dress, in Epcot especially, so that you can see her there. I think sometimes you can see her in the Gaston's Tavern type area in Magic Kingdom as well, of her in her blue dress. But again, it just depends on when she comes out. So you just never know when you're going to see her. Like there aren't always set meet and greets of when she comes out. You just have to make sure you try to catch that as all. So, but I do love Belle in her blue dress, so that's why I decided to pick her. All right, and what is your one ride?
That was tough because
It was tough. Yeah,
do like some of them a lot. I really do. But I think if I had one classic ride that I had to go on, that was the only one I could go on, it was Spaceship Earth.
Oh, you picked Spaceship Earth? Okay.
Yes, I picked Spaceship Earth because I got to say, I enjoy it. It goes through all the different, I think it's amazing to me when I see the animatronics, when you look at the details. Every time you like either sit on one side or the other, there's something new to look at, something new to see. We've seen it so many times that I could probably see it in my sleep. But I got to say that if it was the only ride I could go on that day, I think I would go on Spaceship Earth.
I kind of want to do Spaceship Earth now too, because I didn't pick Spaceship Earth, but I'm like, actually, I think I agree with you that I think Spaceship Earth would be the one ride that I would pick, because it is very, I feel like if you think of Epcot, that's the main ride in Epcot, right? That is what the Epcot ball is. That is Spaceship Earth. I mean, like I named my whole Etsy shop after Spaceship Earth as well. So I do love Spaceship Earth. Initially, when I was thinking of all of the rides, I went back and forth so many times with many of the rides, and I did end up on Soarin' was what I had picked.
Soarin', that was my second choice.
Yeah, because Soarin' is one of my favorite rides, and I do think Soarin' is not, I'm not even saying it's a unique ride structure or anything, but I just love what you get to see when you're on Soarin'. I think it's really fun. It's really thrilling. I love seeing the different parts of the world, like places that I probably won't get to see.
Yeah, that's why I like Soarin'. I gotta say.
But I do love Soarin'. It is one of my favorite rides.
Yeah.
And I think especially these days with all the new rides in Epcot, Soarin' is like dropping down on the popularity scale.
Oh yeah, you can get on it better.
Because now you have Cosmic Rewind that people want to go on. You have the Frozen ride. You have Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. So those are like the three big rides now. So Soarin' is kind of like the fourth big ride, so to speak.
Right.
So because of that, the line isn't always as bad, depending on if you go in off season. So you can get on a little quicker, which is really fun. And yeah, I just really love Soarin'. I think the other thing I love about Soarin' too is that there are a lot of rides now in Epcot that are very Disney themed, whereas Soarin' is still not Disney themed really at all.
No, they really haven't put one of the, the only thing they do at the end is the fireworks. That's it.
So you go through, Soarin' over California is in Disneyland, and Soarin' around the world is in Epcot. So I do like that like everything else, if you think about it, all the new rides all have a Disney character based around that ride, which I think is really fun. But I think it's fun too to have rides that are not necessarily based around Disney, that is based around the idea of Epcot bringing together the world and all different parts of the world. And I think that's very classic too of kind of what Epcot stands for. So that's why I picked Soarin', but honestly, maybe it would be Spaceship Earth. It's really hard.
So. It is. It's hard. There's so many places that you like to do that when you say do one, that's impossible.
Well, that's the challenge of this one. Yes. So I thought that's why it would be fun to do this.
That's why sometimes we go to Disney for like, 6 days? Like they're really there for 6 full days or whatever. 6 days of even dinners, and we're still saying, I wish we could spend like a month because we want to go here and we want to go there and we want to go there and we want to go there. You want to go everywhere. That's why we're very lucky that we can go, and go different times, because if you can't get on something, you can do it the next time or whatever. Because people who just go once for 1 week, how do you fit everything they have to offer into 1 week, one time?
No, it's definitely hard.
Yes.
But this was fun to do, to try to pick one in each one.
Pick one day. Yeah,
so we'll definitely do the other 3 parks too eventually.
Okay.
But this was fun to do. All right, let's do some Disney news now. So this is a pre-recorded podcast, so all of this is outdated by the time this podcast comes out. But the big Disney news is the alert system for Disney dining reservations and the lightning lane alerts. So now for a Disney dining reservation, let's say you want to go to, a specific restaurant. Let's say if you want to go to Ohana, that's always a big one. Now you can set an alert for when a dining reservation comes up.
I'm learning something new here. Okay.
For a dining reservation alert, you'll go onto the app, you will select the resort or the location of the restaurant. Then you select the restaurant, you select a date range, a meal time of day, and your party size. And when a reservation comes up, according to your specifications, you can get a push notification to your phone saying, do you want to make the reservation? And you can make the reservation. It's the same for Lightning Lane as well. So Lightning Lane, you select the park, the attraction, and your preferred return time. And same thing, you can get an alert for when you can make that Lightning Lane reservation, both for multi-pass and single pass. So this has both recently rolled out pretty recently, honestly, as of recording this. But again, by the time this comes out, it'll be out for a little bit.
Oh, cool.
So I haven't heard too many of like, how's it going? How is it working?
Right,
like, is it working well? I'm not really sure yet.
I hope it is.
So I guess we will see, but that's definitely useful.
That just means you don't have to keep checking. You don't have to keep checking
to see
if something's available while you're vacationing.
Yes, especially if it's like the day of or something like that. So it's like, we want a reservation for tonight. You can just set up your little thing, set an alert.
Tell you if
and
somebody cancels and it opens up.
Exactly. Because before you'd have to check like every hour and just hope you get lucky, which sometimes you do get lucky. But this way you can get a notification.
Yeah, but that just means you have to be on your phone every 2 minutes checking, and doing. Oh, cool.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll see how this goes. So.
Okay, I learned something new.
All right. Okay. Again, this is a pretty new one as of today that I saw. So
news for me.
All right, at Pop Century, the new tie-dye cheesecake is back. People are very excited. It's a very vivid colored cheesecake, so that's why people really like it. It's super colorful. Only at Pop Century. They had a different type of tie-dye cheesecake that wasn't as like vibrant, I suppose, and now the super vibrant one is back. It's funny because Pop Century tends to get a lot of those fun snacks, but we've never really stayed at Pop Century, and it's really out of the way to go to Pop Century.
Just to have
I've never really gone to Pop Century, but they do get some fun snacks at Pop Century, that's for sure. All right, the Hallmark It's a Small World Christmas ornament is now available on Amazon. Previously, it was only available through the Hallmark website, but now more Hallmark, like the true Hallmark ornaments, are being available through Amazon, which is very convenient for people, which I don't know if that's good or bad for Hallmark. I feel like they're a dying brand sometimes.
I know. People aren't using cards anymore.
I know, right? But Hallmark is expanding to Amazon, so definitely check Amazon for those classic Christmas ornaments. All right, so for some Halloween stuff, there is a ghost cream puff filled with sour apple filling. People are saying it does not taste good. It tastes bad, apparently.
It doesn't sound good. Like you just said it. I was like, no, I don't think so.
Everyone says it looks really cute and makes good for a good Instagram post, but everyone is saying that it's a very specific flavor, especially you need to like sour apple. And when I looked at it, when you cut the cream puff in half, it is like filled. So I mean, like, I guess that's a good thing. That's a super filled
people like that
puff.
Flavor. Yeah.
Yes, if you like sour apple.
Some people love sour apple.
Like
the hard candies and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. But a lot of people are saying that it's not very good, unfortunately. There is also a caramel apple milkshake too. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say that is in Hollywood Studios. This is all three of these items are in Hollywood Studios. The caramel apple milkshake also in Hollywood Studios. People are saying that is super good, very tasty apparently. And there's also a Halloween alien sipper in Hollywood Studios. This is those little green aliens. In Toy Story. So the little green alien is dressed up for Halloween as Buzz Lightyear, which is really cute. So you see him, he's holding a little pumpkin like trick or treat bag, and he's dressed up as Buzz Lightyear, which I think is really funny. So, but I thought that was really cute. So make sure you go get the Halloween stuff at Hollywood Studios today. All right, let's do some Disney birthdays. First up on October 22nd, we have Emma Swan. Emma Swan is the main character in Once Upon a Time. So I actually never watched Once Upon a Time, crazy enough. Either. It's funny because when that show was coming out, I don't know why we never watched it, because I was in prime, like I was in like middle school to high school when that show was airing. So I was really the prime audience for watching that show, but we just never got around to it. We just never watched it. So in my adulthood, I have watched the recaps of the show, and I think I probably would have liked it back in the day, but I don't know why I never watched Once Upon a Time. I know people say it got really bad towards the end, as most shows tend to do when they have multiple seasons.
It may have been up against a couple of other shows that we were watching.
Well, I think at the time we were watching Pretty Little Liars and Glee, so it's like you only have so much time during the day, and Once Upon a Time just wasn't the show.
Back then there weren't DVRs to be taping everything.
Yeah, and I think too, it's like my friends at school were watching Pretty Little Liars and Glee, and I didn't have any friends who were watching Once Upon a Time, so you just end up not watching
there was nobody to discuss
if you have no one to talk to about it at school. So but happy birthday to Emma Swan. Next up, we have some two personal birthdays on October 23rd. It's my cousin's son's birthday, Dominic. So happy birthday to Dominic. And on October 26th, it is one of my close friends and also one of my bridesmaids, Laura's birthday. So happy birthday to Laura. And that brings us to our final segment of the podcast, our Disney memory. We have a Disney memory for today's podcast.
I don't know. I think my Disney memory would be just what popped into my head was sitting on the side of Mexico having guacamole and just hanging out,
eating guacamole and
looking
chips.
at the just looking at the thing and realizing how good it was that first time that we had it, and saying, "Oh, we're coming back here." So I think that just popped into my head when you said memory.
No, for sure. I forget how we initially found that too, because I feel like we were just tired.
I think we were just tired and we just wanted to sit down, and it was by the lake.
So we were like, let's
just
get
get covering,
this.
And we said, let's just go there and get some guacamole and a drink.
No, for sure. I feel like one of my memories is like all the times we have waited hours for the nighttime shows in Disney World. Especially I feel like in Epcot, for some reason, one of my specific memories of waiting for the show is in Epcot. It was one of the first times we did New Year's in Epcot, or New Year's in Disney World.
Yes.
And we chose Epcot, and we chose a railing by the United Kingdom Pavilion. And I feel like we waited there for hours.
We were there for hours.
Many hours up until midnight, that we were just like waiting for midnight, basically. Almost to the point it's just like, what are we waiting for? This is wild. But I do remember that, like waiting many hours that night, up against that railing. There weren't really any seats. I think we're just like sitting on the
seats.
floor.
There was no, early in the evening, there was no seats. So you had to get your space. And once you got your space, you didn't move. We kind of left, like some of us went out to get drinks or go to the bathroom or do whatever. We came back and forth. But then we were surrounded by the crazy people. And then my memory of that is there were like how many lines of people behind us when we watched it? It was like 5 or 6 like lines of people behind you. And when you came out, you realized everybody behind you was drunk. So it was like a mess behind us. That's what I remember about that night. I would never do that again.
Well, that was the first time we ever did New Year's in the parks also as well.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I think you had picked Epcot over Magic Kingdom because you thought, I don't know why we picked Epcot over Magic Kingdom, honestly.
You sure we didn't go to Magic Kingdom before that?
No, the first New Year's Eve we did was in
Epcot.
Epcot. And then afterwards, then we had Bay Lake, and then we did
Maybe
not,
we were staying over there, and that's why.
and then because then after
we were probably at the Swan, and that's why we
did
decided.
Epcot, then we stayed in Bay Lake and we watched the fireworks from Bay Lake. And then one year I said I really wanted to be in Magic Kingdom.
So we went
and
to
then
the
we went
park.
to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like the order of how things happened.
You
But
were young
before
when we
Bay
went to
Lake-
Epcot that time, so maybe we
That's
just
the thing,
figured.
I was very young.
Yeah,
so
it was
before we
better
had
just
Bay
to
Lake.
stay there
So-
and walk back to the hotel than try to get out of there at midnight.
Yeah, I don't remember why
Yeah.
we were at Epcot over one of the other parks. But I do remember I loved it. I thought it was really cool because during the night, I don't think they do this anymore actually, but during the night, as the night went on, they would set up fireworks periodically throughout the night for when each country celebrated New Year's. Now I think they just say it all at once.
I think they do it right before.
Yeah, I think now they just say, like,
light
these
up
countries-
the buildings in order of I think when they're doing them.
I think now, they just say the countries of when they celebrated and they do their special fireworks just all at once basically. But back then they did do like separately, like on the hour, every hour.
It was cool.
Each country would
It was
celebrate
cool.
a different time.
Just like it was cool to watch it in Magic Kingdom too.
But I do remember just waiting for hours for that and then being like, this is pretty miserable. So it's like, I don't know
never
if this
do
is
that
worth
again.
it. Yeah, that way. It's like, and then
do
we
that
never did Epcot again. We never have gone back for Epcot for their
No.
fireworks. And that
I
experience
love
is
my
just tough.
fireworks, but my attitude about this is that they do such a good job in fireworks every single night. I do not
Well,
need
now
to
they
be there.
also, because back then too, they also didn't do the 2 showings of the fireworks. Where now they have 2 showings.
They have 2, one
So they
earlier
have
and
an
one
earlier
later.
showing, and then they have the midnight showing, and the shows are actually the same. So it's like you aren't missing out if you decide not to go to the midnight
No,
showing.
people don't have to stay till midnight.
Yeah, exactly. So you can trick your children into going to the early
I
show,
know,
and telling
trick them,
them
tell them
it's
it's
midnight.
New Year's Eve. Yeah, say
Before they
Happy New
commit a
Year and go to
clock.
bed.
So, but that's what I'm saying. They didn't have that back then, so you just had to wait until midnight to watch the show. And I'm glad that they now do the 2 showings. Because one, I think it relieves the crowds a lot, which is super helpful. And again, if you don't want to stay up until midnight, then you
You could
don't
just
have
watch
to.
the show and then do what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You still get to enjoy the fireworks. So so definitely like it, but it's tough sometimes waiting for those shows and the crowds of people. People coming with their food and going away, and especially in Epcot where there's a lot of alcohol, so a lot of people are getting sick.
They were
behind
drunk,
you.
yes. Everybody was drunk by the time we left at midnight.
Well, also, I don't know why, but you guys did pick the UK pavilion. So
it was the
it's
best. It was the best place we found to get close enough so you could see what
Yeah,
was
I know.
going on. Because the problem with the Epcot fireworks is they were doing everything on the lake. So the problem was with having little kids. If you're not up front and you're in the back,
Yeah, I
you
know.
can't see anything. You're going to see some fireworks go off, but the rest of it you weren't going to see.
You wouldn't see like the ball on the lake.
Right. So we tried to make sure that we could get someplace where we could get up front, and we just happened to find that spot and said, okay, let's take it before it goes.
And then
So-
waiting there for hours.
Yes.
So, but that was fun Epcot memories. Still love Epcot. Maybe one day I would do Epcot again.
Okay, you go ahead. I'm not
for
doing
New
it.
Year's or something. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
It'll be up to Amanda and her family to go stand in there and watch the fireworks.
Of course, my children's like, you're going to like this no matter
Yes,
what.
you're going to
Joy."
like it no matter what.
All right. Thanks everyone for listening to this week's episode of the podcast. Make sure you give us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or leave a comment down below if you're watching on YouTube. We will have a dedicated Instagram post for this episode. So let us know on Instagram in the YouTube comments which pick one would you do for all these things? Like which snack would you pick? Which quick service? Which table service? Let us know. We'd love to know which ones you picked. Maybe seeing like, wow, there's so many options. It is hard. I do think Epcot's
I know it
difficult.
is,
There's a lot
especially
of
Epcot.
options. Yeah, so I'd love to know which options would be your top choices if you could only pick one for sure.